So it looked like Bria Hartley is going into hiding. And it looked like Bria Hartley is running after news broke about Sophie Cunningham being out for the season.
A single image can destroy a career, burn a reputation to the ground, and ignite a firestorm that consumes an entire league. For WNBA veteran Bria Hartley, that image was a smirk. A split-second, malevolent-looking grin captured on camera just moments after her opponent Sophie Cunningham crumpled to the floor with a devastating season-ending injury. That one picture went viral in a matter of hours, painting Hartley not just as a dirty player, but as the WNBA's ultimate villain. Fans called for her to be kicked out of the league. Sophie's own family publicly demanded justice, and in the face of the onslaught, Hartley herself seemed to vanish overnight. But the truth behind that sinister grin, the history leading up to that moment, and the unbelievable twist that followed, was far more shocking and complicated than anyone could have possibly imagined.
This picture is going viral with Bria Hartley with the sinister grin, right? This malevolent look that's on her face right now, clearly smiling after injuring Sophie Cunningham, man.
The play itself was a chaotic mess, a blur of bodies in a high-stakes, fast-paced game that was tight from the opening tip. It wasn't a moment that was supposed to define a season. Then Bria Hartley barreled toward the basket at a dangerously awkward angle, crashing directly into Sophie Cunningham's planted leg with tremendous force. Sophie collapsed instantly, her face contorted in agony as she clutched her knee. A deafening hush fell over the entire arena as the game screeched to a halt. But it wasn't the collision that would be replayed a million times, it was what happened in the seconds that followed. As trainers and teammates rushed onto the court, their faces etched with concern. A replay angle caught Bria Hartley looking back at the scene of the crime, and on her face was a clear, unmistakable, and what many described as a chilling grin.
Oh, and Cunningham is down. My goodness.
Timeout.
Should be. You know, scary moment as we went to commercial. Sophie Cunningham hit the floor hard, and she is being helped off the floor, heading back to the locker room.
That single freeze frame became the centerpiece of the entire controversy. It was screenshotted, circled in red, and plastered across every social media platform. The debate was no longer about a clumsy or unfortunate basketball play. It was about malicious intent. And for the thousands of fans watching, that smirk was all the proof they needed to declare her guilty. It was a look that seemed to say she enjoyed the chaos, that she was proud of the damage she'd caused. The narrative was set in stone almost immediately. Bria Hartley was a dirty player who had intentionally injured her opponent and then smiled about it. But for those who had been following her career, this moment wasn't just a surprise. It was the culmination of a long and controversial history.
So Mike put this up about an hour ago. He said to all of those defending Bria Hartley, look at what she liked on Instagram. Emo, she's the dirtiest player in the league and should be kicked out. Most recently, Sophie Cunningham has been hurt with the knee tear and is out for the season. Look at this. Look at this. Now, Bria is the definition of consistency. Now, this is her liking this. This is her liking this post. Y'all see Breezy 1414 and others. Bria is the definition. She's liking this post. Look at this. Death taxes and Bria Hartley always being at the scene of the crime. Now, that's her choke slamming Angel Reese.
Atkins, 7 to shoot. Cardoso rolls, catch. Cardoso over the top, can't get it. Reese fights for the rebound and a foul, and this time gets a little chippy and a shove on Nelson Adota. And listen, this arena typically will.
For years, Bria Hartley had cultivated a reputation as one of the league's most aggressive enforcers. It's a reputation that followed her from the WNBA to her time playing in leagues across Europe. She was known as a physical, hard-nosed defender who never backed down from a fight and often played with a palpable edge. While some called it toughness, others called it dirty. In recent seasons, she'd been involved in several physical run-ins that crossed the line, but none were more infamous than her altercation with college superstar and now WNBA rookie Angel Reese. During a heated moment under the basket, what started as jockeying for position escalated into a full-blown scuffle involving a shove and a blatant hair pull. That incident cemented her image as a player who was willing to do whatever it took, even if it meant breaking the rules in a dangerous way.
Maybe you should focus her sister. Maybe you should focus less on fining players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are capable to call a consistent game and protect your athletes. Pathetic. Praying for you. The only good thing positive surrounding Sophie Cunningham coming out of this game, she looked in good spirits in the locker room.
This history became critical context for the Sophie Cunningham injury. Fans immediately connected the dots, creating a timeline of her most controversial moments and arguing that this wasn't an isolated accident but part of a disturbing career-long pattern. They saw her as a player who consistently put others at risk, and that viral grin now seemed to prove she had no remorse. The court of public opinion had reached its verdict, and Hartley was guilty on all counts. But what she did next online, in the hours following the injury, felt like pouring gasoline on an already raging fire. It was a move so arrogant and shocking, it left everyone speechless.
Bria Hartley deserves zero benefit of the doubt. And Sophie Cunningham's family not too happy. I believe this is Mama C. Hartley is a disgruntled player having trouble everywhere she goes. She's playing mean and plays out of control. Looked out of control to me.
Indiana Fever fans wake up pissed off today. Pissed off. Not only are we getting assaulted, but they're smiling about it. This is the 6th time they've smiled, laughed, and cheered on our Indiana Fever players getting assaulted, getting injured. And it pisses me off.
As the backlash exploded online, fans digging into Hartley's social media activity found what they considered to be the ultimate smoking gun. In a move that defied all logic, she was actively liking posts that brutally called her out. One post she publicly liked featured a picture of her choke-slamming Angel Reese with the caption, "Death, taxes, and Bria Hartley always being at the scene of the crime." Another one she liked crowned her the dirtiest player in the league and demanded she be kicked out. To the public, this was beyond comprehension. It wasn't just a lack of remorse. It appeared to be a blatant endorsement of her villainous reputation. While Sophie Cunningham was at home dealing with the devastating news of a torn MCL that had just ended her season, Bria Hartley was online, seemingly reveling in the chaos she had created. It was a move that took the outrage from a simmer to a full-blown boil. And soon, the people closest to Sophie had seen more than enough.
Making all kind of excuses to say that Bria Hartley is not a dirty player. Let me tell y'all something, man. Come on in here. Come on in here, man. Let me tell y'all something. If it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, eats like a duck, it's a duck, man. Come on, man. She is the dirtiest player in the WNBA right now, winning the trophy. All right? Winning the trophy for it. Don't sit here and try to tell me Bria Hartley is not a dirty player.
While the internet raged, Sophie Cunningham's family felt they had no choice but to break their silence and fight back. Her sister Lindsay posted a blistering message on X, aimed not just at Hartley, but at the entire league itself. She wrote, "Maybe you should focus less on fining players for commenting on your poor officiating, and more about hiring officials that are able to call a consistent game and protect your athletes. Pathetic." Her words struck a deep nerve, tapping into a wider frustration among players and fans about the WNBA's inconsistent and often criticized refereeing. This wasn't just about one missed call, it was about a system they felt was failing to protect its biggest stars. Sophie's own mother, Paula, was even more direct and personal. In a post of her own, she called Hartley a disgruntled player who is plain mean and plays out of control. Though she later deleted the post, the screenshot was everywhere. The family's raw, emotional response gave a powerful voice to the fans' anger. This wasn't just online speculation anymore, it was personal, and the pressure on the league was mounting.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud of you too. Proud of you.
I'm so proud of you guys. I know that sometimes it sounds like just a word when we talk about being resilient, but it's not, man. It's how we live.
Yep.
It's how y'all live, and it's a tribute to you. It's a tribute to your connectedness, your togetherness, your toughness, your mindset. You never give up gritty attitudes. Like, that's what it takes. That's what it takes, and we will never be counted out, because that is worth gold. That is worth gold. Kels, goddamn baby.
Faced with a tidal wave of hatred, damning accusations from Sophie's family, and the inexplicable evidence of her own social media activity, Bria Hartley did what many people do when they're cornered. She completely disappeared. Her social media accounts on Instagram and X were suddenly made private, and in some cases deleted entirely. This sudden vanishing act was immediately interpreted by the public as an undeniable admission of guilt. Why else would she run and hide unless she had something to hide? Rumors began to swirl that the WNBA was launching a private investigation into her entire history of dirty plays, not just this one incident. Speculation ran rampant that a lengthy, career-altering suspension was imminent, with some insiders even whispering that she was being pressured to quit the league altogether to avoid further scandal. Bria Hartley was in digital hiding, and it looked like her career was about to implode under the weight of her actions. But just as the world was ready to write her off for good, the story took a shocking turn that no one, absolutely no one, saw coming.
An assassin, Kelsey Mitchell, has a new career high. Backdoor Mitchell, bouncing in the paint for two. Kelsey Mitchell, the pig is matched up. Mitchell squeezing through for two at the foul. Fouls on the other end. It's Mitchell launching it and connecting.
Days after the incident, Sophie Cunningham finally broke her silence. But it wasn't the message of condemnation anyone expected. While fans and media outlets assumed she would publicly eviscerate Hartley, Sophie went on her podcast and did the exact opposite. In a move that stunned everyone, she defended her. "I don't think that there was no ill intent," Sophie explained to her shocked listeners. "I'm actually really good friends with Bria. She would never try to hurt me." She described the play as a simple, unfortunate basketball accident where she was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time, and even revealed that she had personally told her own mother to back off with the criticism.
Boston backs down Hartley. Aaliyah Boston, excellent post position. Picks up the dribble. Shot clock winding down to 7. Mabry, lob pass. Charles catches. No foul call. That's a huge no call. Looks for cutters. Charles the defense. Back on to Boston. Tina Charles. Backdoor Mitchell pouncing in the paint for 2. 30 points for Mitchell. That's the 4th on Charles.
Can't get caught ball watching right there. Great recognition by Boston as Mitchell makes that backdoor cut.
Bria Hartley has privated all her social media accounts. Now, this is coming off news breaking about Sophie Cunningham being out for the season. Now, we know there has been people kind of investigating this whole situation with Bria Hartley. And y'all know what I like to say is looking real spooky for Bria Hartley right now.
This revelation was an absolute bombshell. The designated villain of the story was now being publicly defended by her own victim. This directly contradicted Sophie's other, more defiant public message, a viral post where she simply wrote, "Uff around and find out." It soon became clear that she was sending 2 very different messages to 2 very different audiences. The podcast was a moment of personal forgiveness for a friend in a league where everyone knows each other. But the FAFO post was a message of fierce defiance to the critics, haters, and anyone who dared to write her or her team off after the injury. She was drawing a line in the sand. She could forgive a friend for an accident, but she would not tolerate disrespect for her team's toughness. Perspective represented.
Well, you come at Sophie's sister, you come at Sophie. And Sophie saw this comment, and bless her heart, she answered it. She answered it. Some of us were raised by the words of, quote, "Don't bite off more than you can chew." And some of us didn't. Quote, "F around and find out." F around and find out. Kiss. God bless this woman. Yeah, seriously. She's great.
And while this complex off-court drama reached a fever pitch, something truly remarkable was happening on the court. On the very same night that Sophie's season ended in heartbreak, her team, the Indiana Fever, looked completely lost and destined for a humiliating blowout loss. Already without their star player, they went into the halftime locker room trailing by a seemingly insurmountable 21 points. The energy was gone, the hope was fading, and broadcasters were already talking about the team's collapse. But instead of folding, they came out of that locker room with a vengeance. Led by an absolutely unstoppable Kelsey Mitchell, who exploded for a career-high 38 points, the Fever mounted one of the most furious and improbable rallies of the entire season.
But that's hilarious. That this hater out there, and there's a lot of them right now. I said yesterday they're mad because Sophie's being called a superstar and this and that and the other. Yeah, Sophie's got more pull than your Asia Wilson. I mean, Asia's on this monumental run. I literally wouldn't have known that if I hadn't stumbled across somebody that said, well, the WNBA is making Asia Wilson's late season MVP push. Sometimes, I mean, you just got to pay attention. The WNBA wants to protect certain people and certain players.
But Kelsey Mitchell became an assassin in the second half, hitting clutch shots from every spot on the floor. But she wasn't alone. Aaliyah Boston transformed into a monster in the paint, battling for every rebound and dominating her opponents to secure a crucial double-double. And veteran point guard Odyssey Sims controlled the floor with a calm, steady hand, slowing the game down when needed and making smart plays that settled her team's nerves. They chipped away at the lead, possession by gritty possession, as the crowd's energy grew from a murmur to a deafening roar. In the end, they shocked the entire league with a miraculous 99-93 victory, completing the largest comeback in their franchise's history. It was a stunning display of heart, resilience, and a defiant roar from a team that refused to be broken by injury or adversity.
I know Bria, and I'm actually really good friends with Bria, and I had been waiting to get on the pod and so we could talk about this because I did want to tweet it out, but I don't think that there was no ill intent. I think it was basketball play. I was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. She fell. Like, there's no way that she would go in there and potentially try to hurt me. And so I had nothing but love for Bria. And I even told my mom, because she tweeted something. I was like, no, Mom, I get it. But I promise you that I was like, Bria and I are super cool. And she would never try to hurt me, because there are some girls that I think might, but she wouldn't do that. And so I have nothing but love. And so I hope people stop giving Bria some heat, because I don't think she meant to do that at all.
So what is the real story here? On one hand, we have Bria Hartley, a player with a long history of aggressive plays, whose damning smirk and baffling online behavior made her look guilty beyond any doubt. We have a family's righteous anger and a public that was ready to convict her without a trial. But on the other hand, we have the victim, Sophie Cunningham, offering a surprising and compassionate defense, calling it all a misunderstanding between friends. The incident leaves behind a messy, complicated legacy. It exposed the deep frustrations players and fans have with WNBA officiating, and showcased the terrifying lightning-fast power of a social media narrative. But it also revealed the incredible, unbreakable heart of a team that took a moment of complete disaster and forged it into their defining story of triumph. Now the final question is left to you. Was Bria Hartley's play a deliberate dirty act that deserves punishment, or was she an unfairly targeted player caught in a chaotic moment that was spun into a witch hunt?